Tim Harvey, the co-founder of FlyDragon, will be joining us as a speaker on August 29th in Dallas, Texas for The Lab. The Lab is an all-day peer-led mastermind event, and The Lab this August is not just another conference. It won't feel like speaker to audience. It will feel different than any other events you've been to because it is different. If you joined us for our first event last year, you'll know what I'm talking about. It will feature open playbooks, real conversations, and peers who are showing up to pour into each other. You might walk in feeling a little bit empty, burnout, but you'll walk out with systems, strategies, and people who actually understand the work you are doing and what you're doing every day. And Tim, who I'm talking with today, will be one of the speakers joining us that day to do just that. Tim's superpower and why we asked him to speak is generating AI content to increase your visibility in search results on Google, ChatGPT, and other language learning models. He's been spending the past several years learning exactly how to create content using AI copywriters to help you save time and money from using human copywriters, although there is definitely human element involved, not totally cutting them out. Tim, thank you for joining this conversation and sharing a bit about what you'll be speaking at the Lab. When you said yes to speaking at the Lab, I was so thrilled. So let's dive into your session and what led you to choose your topic and share. The specific topic you are choosing is something that you first developed for yourself and internally and for the industry as a result of the problems you saw. So what were the problems or main problem you saw in the industry?
Yeah, there's a real problem. And first of all, thanks for having me, Elena. And I'm excited for August. It's going to be a real fun one. But there's a real problem in the real estate industry. Agents have at least one website. Most do, if not multiple websites. We all know those agents have two or three. And more than half of real estate websites have no organic traffic, period. And so I knew this was a problem. I didn't know how deep the problem went. So I analyzed more than 20,000 websites across every provider I can find to confirm my suspicion. And for agents, if you fall into this bucket where you have no or limited traffic, organically that is, you don't have an asset per se. You have a $500 to a $1,500 cost center. And the interesting thing is agents who commit to SEO, search engine optimization, are generating hundreds, in some cases thousands of organic leads per month. That's not hyperbole, Elena. That's legitimate. I know these agents. It doesn't happen overnight, I will say that. Like, these agents have committed to SEO for years, but it's 100% possible. And so we've accepted this false truth for too long that I can't beat Zillow or I can't beat Redfin and Google, therefore I'm not going to try. And I think that's probably the number one reason why agents have steered clear historically as a channel, SEO as a channel. So I've made it my mission of late to raise awareness that agents can and very much are winning with SEO in a big way.
Yeah, that's awesome. So after you saw the big problem in the industry, plus the, I guess, misinformation that agents were receiving and the heavy weight they were feeling that they could never compete with the giants in the industry, what did you decide to build?
Yeah, I didn't want to build a traditional agency, a SEO agency. I mean, there are plenty of those out there today. I really wanted to lean heavily into AI. And so initially, the thought here was, I just want to reduce the cost that agents would have to bear. That's why agents don't invest in SEO, whether they just don't think they can win, or the number two reason is it costs too much. SEO is certainly not the least expensive channel that an agent can invest in. And the third being SEO takes time. There are no shortcuts with SEO. So initially, AI leaning into it was just to reduce costs, improve speed even. Writers, if you're hiring a quality writer, which you should, if you're hiring human writers, you're going to pay anywhere between $500 to $2,000 per page. That's per page. And I've done that personally. You know, I find a quality writer, they charge $1 per word. I needed a 2,000 word article or page, and so I paid $2,000. Writers take time. It might because, you know, they have other work that needs to be done, or it needs to go back and forth, rounds of revision. Maybe they take time off. Whatever the case is, humans take more time. So the idea was, can we drive the cost down, make it more economical for agents, as well as speed things up? Again, SEO takes time. So if we can, cut down the timeline it takes for pages to get live, we'll just deliver results faster. So AI became a viable solution to driving costs down, make it more economical. And I'll say this with AI, SEO has never been more accessible, more possible for agents. And then I'll say one more thing. So Veterans United, who I actually used them in the past, that's my first home that I bought for my mortgage, but they conducted a survey, a nationwide survey, Q1 of this year. And the survey uncovered that a third of home buyers are using ChatGPT or other AI tools for house hunting. One third. That's a huge number. And so I already know agents today getting business from ChatGPT. I had a call with a friend who's an agent in Reno a couple of days ago, and he told me, because I'm already getting phone calls from ChatGPT. Cold call, picks up the phone. Hey, I'm looking to buy or sell, whatever the case was, and your name appeared in the results in ChatGPT. So it's not just about ranking high on Google search anymore. It's also about getting your brand to appear in ChatGPT. And there's no question, like we're really early to this. There's going to be a massive land grab, so to speak, just like with Facebook ads and Google PPC, maybe 8 to 10 years ago, or GMB in the past 5 years. The agents who are early to adopting AI will win. So for us, it's really about, it started with driving costs down. Now it's about helping our agents, helping their brands appear in ChatGPT as well as page one of Google.
Yeah, definitely. And something I should point out that people may have just skimmed over that you mentioned is the study was done in Q1, which is probably January, February of 2025. We're recording this in June. The event is in August. The adoption rate of people using ChatGPT is going to be the fastest one. So that's just the example I'm choosing. The adoption rate of just consumers using language learning models like ChatGPT, Gemini is so exponential that stat is probably outdated. And that's something that you said during our call just a couple of days ago on the webinar.
Yeah.
That stat may be even closer to 2/3. I'm curious, whenever you said that 1/3 are using language learning models for their home search, what does that mean? What are people searching?
Yeah, it could be anything from specifically, I'm looking to buy a condo in Miami, but with a waterfront view between this price and that price, like super high intent. I'm looking to list my home in Reno, Nevada. Who are the 3 best listing agents that could help me? It could be something such as mortgage related or home valuation related, just some more information gathering. So really anything under the sun, and it skews heavily based different generations. Gen X, millennials are probably closer to 40%. Uh, I'm sorry, did I say Gen X? I meant Gen Z. So Gen Z, millennials are using it the most. The younger bucks are using it more than Gen X. Baby boomers are probably like sub 10%. And so, yeah, I'll probably have to update that stat in 2 months when we're down in Texas, because you're right. Google's still king, but we've never seen anything like this. This is like the advent of the internet, the way that people are adopting language models like ChatGPT.
Yeah, and I think it also depends, with boomers, what industry they're in. It's funny with the lifestyles of the my parents versus my husband's
Yeah.
parents. My parents, they don't use it, but my husband's dad, he is 100% in AI just because he's in computer science and computer engineering. So
Yeah,
he's
fair
just all
point.
day, every day in
Yeah.
ChatGPT. So it's funny.
Yeah, it's a fair point.
And then another thing, I think another reason why people are adopting language learning models is because Google hallucinates.
Hmm.
I'll first, just by default, because it's something I've used up until, last year. Google, I've used it for so many years by default still. Out of habit, I'll go to Google first when I'm looking for an answer, like a how-to question, or what should I do, or where should I go? What's the best place to go to in this area? I'll go there first. And a lot of times it hallucinates the answers, especially when I'm asking how to something, what's the best. It just makes up random things. And when I go to actually do that thing, I said, that button's not actually there. And then I'll go to ChatGPT and it actually gives the right answer. So I think that's another reason why the adoption rate is so much higher, is because the answers are so much more accurate in the language learning models, because they're a bit more smarter, at least right now.
Yeah, so many people I know are saying the same thing, that they're doing that. So I think we're adopting ChatGPT, or we'll just say ChatGPT, but we know we mean all the language models, that we've been doing it for 20 years. We go to Google, we search something. Now you'll see the AI overview almost every time. So Google is going to look more and more like ChatGPT, as the months progress here. And so if I don't get my answer there and I'm looking to have more of a conversation, I then go over to ChatGPT. I ask the same question, maybe I get the answer. And if I don't, well, I can now have an ongoing conversation. So I like to refer to Google as a search engine, right? And then ChatGPT as my answer engine. So I go there for my answers.
Yeah, and that's why it's important for agents to prioritize both platforms, Google and ChatGPT. And I would even argue YouTube, because that's my third place. If I can't get the answer in Google, if ChatGPT or the language learning model hallucinates still, then I go to YouTube and I look for a video there.
But yeah,
So
which is the
creating
number
all
two
three.
search engine in the world, YouTube,
Yeah.
owned by Google.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So after you developed the AI content and you started implementing this, how did you start to see search results improve for agencies you're working with?
Yeah, interestingly enough, it happened really quickly. So we go into beta beginning of the year with a handful of clients, of 6 to 10, give or take. And I think it's market specific. So if are you in a rural market with less competition versus Philadelphia, right, where there's a lot more competition, bigger budgets, right, harder to rank because the keyword difficulty is just so much harder. But we were pleasantly surprised to see how fast pages were ranking. But we've made a lot of improvements. I mean, we learned a lot in the last 6 months. You can't simply. I mean, we spent I'll say hundreds of hours perfecting the prompts. We're still working on them every single week. Models change. O3 Pro is coming out soon. We're going to change our prompts and the content briefs. So one of probably the most critical learning for me was you can have this perfected prompt, and the output still needs the human in the loop. So the human in the loop is still a critical step. We spend on average an hour optimizing a single page for our clients. So it's still a very painstaking process. Yeah, ChatGPT can write a page in 3 to 5 minutes, but we're not just posting that to a website, because we've learned that you still need to optimize that piece. And when I say optimization, I mean we'll use different tools for this, and I'll share them in August. What word should I have in my H1, the header tag, my H2s, my H3s? Am I missing some keywords? The content itself, do I have all the keywords that these tools are recommending I have? And so it could take an hour of making sure we're not just stuffing words in there and changing how the page flows. We need to make sure we've got basically 3 sets of eyeballs reading this. The human's reading this, so this thing needs to make sense. Google's reading it, and now the language models are reading it as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So you just threw a little bit of a teaser on what you'll be sharing. So in August, what exactly will you be sharing at the session? What can the audience members expect to learn from your session?
Elena, I'm going to share everything step by step from prompt to page 1, which is actually the title of the session. We'll take a keyword, probably something like living in X location. So, living in Boston, let's say. So we'll take the keyword, we'll give away the prompt, whatever we're using for whatever model, whether it's O1 Pro, we use a lot of O1 Pro, although that's now legacy. O3 we're using, but by the time we're there in August, I think O3 Pro should be out any day now. So we'll walk through the prompt, give that away, at least one prompt, if not multiple, and then how to write it, getting into ChatGPT. If you're not an agent who's been adopting chat yet, we'll go through that process, how to get in there, how to use the prompt and the content briefs that we're using. We may even rewrite some sections. Again, it's imperfect. So, okay, we didn't maybe it wasn't specific enough in this particular section, this H2, go back and rewrite that. And then the tools that we're using to optimize, where it takes us an hour, we'll go through a couple of those as well to get you familiarized with how to optimize the page. And then I'll even share examples of clients who are ranking on page 1 of Google and in the language models for this exact same keyword with our help. And then, yeah, agents will be able to follow this workflow to improve their impressions on Google, their clicks to their website on Google, as well as see impressions from ChatGPT.
Yeah. So we wanted to make sure that this event was not like other conferences, with 2 main goals. The first one was creating sessions and topics that were actually helpful and not just inspirational keynotes, and definitely got that down with your session and what you'll be sharing. But the second goal was, anytime I attend a conference, people are either trying to vigorously write down notes, remembering what is being shared, or they're taking pictures on their phone that I know, and I know the person even taking the pictures on their phone, they're never going to look at that picture again. So I know I struggle with this too. Whenever I'm watching a session, I'll get inspired. Even if it's a teaching session, I'll get inspired, go, oh, this is such a cool idea, I want to implement this.
Mm-hmm.
But then you come back home and you don't remember everything. You go, oh, what did Tim say? Oh, what's that picture? It was so blurry, I can't really read it. I can't read my notes, I was scribbling too much. And now there are tools like you can use your voice recorder, and maybe you can try to use a voice recorder and then upload it to ChatGPT with the transcript, which might probably have it doesn't transcribe it
It's
correctly, or
complicated.
there's like the Plod thing now that also can record, or you can use the meta glasses. I don't think it recorded that long. So all that to say, after your session, can audience members expect some type of playbook or
Mhm.
how-to or a copy of something that they can take away to where they don't have to worry about
Absolutely.
making notes, taking pictures on their phone that's too blurry, silly stuff like
Absolutely.
that?
Yeah. So yes, the short answer is yes. So everything that we'll cover in person, I'll bundle up nicely for you to take home with you. So that way you didn't just sit in a nice session, say, "Oh, this makes total sense," and then you go home and forget everything. So you'll have that in hand. And I'd love to see after the session what agents implement the things we're doing. Because again, this is exactly what we're doing for our clients today. We're just going to show you, give that away so you can do it for yourself.
Awesome. Yeah. So for those attending, and we'll say this throughout the event, don't worry about scribbling notes or taking pictures on your phone. You're never going to see again. Just listen to Tim's session and he'll give you exactly what to do with a copy of even probably the prompts. Will you be sharing those
Yes,
secret prompts?
I will be
Awesome.
sharing some of the prompts.
Yeah. Prompts are a big thing. You can't just
Mhm.
say, create an article and then expect it to be magical. It has to
Yeah,
have the
some people
correct
say
prompt.
that. Some people say don't overthink it, and I'm in the other camp. Yes, you need to. The less time you spend on the prompt, the more time you spend on the output, perfecting the output and optimizing it. So the more you can get that prompt perfected, the faster you'll get that piece up live on your site, and the faster it will rank on Google and in the results on ChatGPT.
Otherwise, the first line will say exciting news.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Tim, we're so excited to have you on August 29th. Thank you for sharing everything you will be sharing. Thank you for recording this video and giving people just a little bit of a sneak peek of what you'll be
Yeah.
sharing.
Thanks, Elena. I can't wait.